the elder out here that I want to introduce, and that he was one of my mentors. In '76, I went to DQU, and Dennis Banks, I knew him from the newspapers. And he sat down and he told me, he was telling us a story about AIM, American Indian Movement. And he said that he heard about this medicine man, Crow Dog, and he was going to go ahead and go talk to him. So he went over there to Crow Dog, and he wanted to talk all about AIM. So he was telling all about the programs they had, and the breakfast programs, and the patrols, the police, you know, and what kinds of programs. He stood talking maybe for about an hour. And Crow Dog was just quiet, you know. All of a sudden, when Dennis finished talking, Crow Dog told him, "Mr. Banks, I want you to leave and don't come back. Don't come back until you tell me why certain teepees openings are to the east and some to the west. Don't come back until you know why the Sundance is about." And he was feeling like, man. You know, so he went back to Clyde and the rest of the AIM members, and he told them what he said. And he realized that AIM needed a foundation. So when the Sundance began, here, Dennis Banks on the ground, Pearson. Now we got something to talk about, Mr. Banks. Oh. From then on, he spread that all over to a lot of us. And I realized that no organization can survive if it doesn't have a foundation, a spiritual foundation. So he brought Sundance to DQU when everybody said it was crazy, but he made it possible. And he inspired the talks about the longest walk. And that inspired me. And I was only going to go to Nevada. Before you know it, man, here it is. My wife was pregnant with my son Naichi at the time. Oh, but it is this man that inspires us. I know he's been through this area here in Santa Cruz because I've been with him out here. You know, and there's many people he's inspired. He's very universal. I've never seen a man that no matter what race it is, he's always listening. He's always learning. He's a very knowledgeable person. Now, he's come and challenged all of us to another walk after 30 years. This time, there's no extradition that's going to stop him. He's not going to stop in Nevada. He's not going to stay in California. He's going to go as far as he can go to be able to let us know how important it is. Because life can only be sacred if all of you have the consciousness of indigenism. Because that's what's going to inspire. And it's a person like Dennis that made it possible.
Well, I'd like to, first of all, say thank you to Dominguez for, that was a good introduction to how he went on the walk in '78. But actually, he didn't tell you he was running away from home. He was being kicked out, looking for a place, so we gave him a home for 6 months. Thank you so much. And Barrios, geez, it seems to me that every time that we've kicked off an event, we've always come to Santa Cruz. We did it with the, of course, the longest walk. We were here almost like a month planning and kicking off at the Memorial Veterans Hall. Or,
So.
yeah, it was
Katoomba Jazz Center.
What's that?
Was that the Katoomba Jazz Center?
Yeah, and yeah, there's, hey Max, good to see you. All right. Also we came here when we needed help in, at Oglala, and we raised funds for fire engine, and
the wood pump.
also for, yeah, for a ambulance.
Oh,
And I drove the first ambulance. When it got to Oglala, the driver was tired, and so we met him in Rapid City, and then I drove the last, I guess 70 miles to Oglala, and at that moment, the police got a call that somebody was in, somebody needed an ambulance, but the other one was in, Hot Springs or someplace. So they said, this is the only one we got, so Banks, you got to drive this. So I drove. That was the first time I was following the police. There's been a lot of forced marches in this country, and I believe that this one is also a forced march. And all through the history, during the last 500 years, we've been involved with forced marches, the long walk of the Navajos, 100 miles from the Apaches and the Navajos being forced marched by Kit Carson to Bosque Redondo, where maybe 2,000 or 3,000 Navajos, 2 years we went over there, 3,000 Navajos died. 500 or 600 Apaches died on that cold winter march. But we're also looking at the long walk at the what they call the Trail of Tears. 16,000 Cherokees died in a 3-year forced march. There's been the Northern Cheyenne, the forced marches of that tribe. They wanted our resources, and they were going to push for this legislation, because then we would have fell victim to the states. And they still want our coal, and the timber resources. They still want, and one of the most precious elements right now is water. And they want the riverbeds and the lakes that are found on reservations. In Minnesota, where I'm from, there's 10,000 lakes, and the beginning of the Mississippi begins on our land there. And you could go there and drink the water where the Mississippi begins. But where it ends, where it goes into the Gulf of Mexico, you cannot drink that water. And in 1966, there was an incident that happened in this country which brought shame to me, shame to how America was treating the resources, the land, and the air, and the soil. There is a river that goes through the Cleveland, Ohio. It's called the Cayuga River. And in 1966, because of the many chemicals being thrown into that stream, into that river, the river caught on fire. The river caught on fire. Fire engines from Cleveland had to patrol the Cayuga River so that it would not catch on fire. It was dangerous. And even south here in Los Angeles, I mean, that's even happening today. The smog alerts, where children are not allowed to play outside during the smog alerts. In upstate New York, the acid rain following and is killing a lot of trees, killing the natural plants, the medicinal plants that we gather. And even in Minnesota, the draining of the lakes. So we are at very dangerous times.